Whether you're watching, listening or reading this, welcome back to the Runpreneur vlog, where we're on a mission to raise £1 million for children's charities by run vlogging on consecutive days the distance of one lap around the world. It is a staggering 40,075 kilometres. It's going to take somewhere in the region of 11 years to accomplish, so plenty of time to raise that money. I'm going to commit to vlogging whilst running a minimum of 5 kilometres every day, and I'll even do it barefoot style. For those regulars will know that I vlog about my passions, which are entrepreneurship and running, and most importantly how these topics link together to help people overcome the emotions of stress, overwhelm and anxiety by using exercise as a release mechanism. It's a beautiful day today. The sun is out. It's about 7 or 8 degrees, so ideal running conditions. And it's normally it's Tuesday Tactics today, where I talk about business systems and outsourcing, but today I have a guest on the Runpreneur vlog, and I'd like to introduce to you Clare Harradine when she catches up. So as always, please give this challenge some support by subscribing and liking the content, and let's get started. So I'd like to introduce to my lifelong friend and colleague Clare Harradine today. So say hi, Claire.
Hello.
And Claire's kindly come out on the bike with me today. She is a very strong runner, but she's injured at the moment. So we've decided to do this one on a bike. And I think first I'll ask Claire is why she wanted to be part of the Runpreneur challenge.
It's an absolutely mega challenge. When you first started saying you were going to do it for a year, run every day for a year, minimum of 5k, you know, that's a biggie, as it is. And you know, the commitment through injury, through illness and whatever. And then when you sort of discovered your passion, I guess, wasn't it? When you kind of said, do you know what, I think I'm going to do this for longer. When you first said it to me, and I was like, the distance around the world, okay, what is that? 40,075 miles. Yeah, it might take me between 10 and 15 years. Like, what? Absolutely, kind of a little bit insane, really, but just such a mega challenge. Why wouldn't I want to be involved in it? I think it's awesome. You know, raising money for charity, for children's charities, is just fantastic. So, yeah, just mega proud of you, really, Kevin. It's a massive commitment to do it, you know, just for a year, let alone 10 years, really. I mean,
Oh, thanks, Claire. I mean, it's
better for you than me.
I should bring Claire out on runs with me often. She's nicer to me when we run. But me and Claire go back a long way. I mean, we grew up together. I love to say that I am a couple of years younger than Claire, but I've known Claire most of my life. And she's, I suppose, how did our relationship came about? It was probably about 10 years ago now, something like, would it be that far?
Probably about 8 years.
8 years ago. And Claire was I think she had one child at the time, and was just getting back into the kind of working world, and I needed some help with the business, and it was great to come across Claire, because one of the things I always find with when you work with people is loyalty and integrity are two of my highest values. And when you've known somebody kind of for the most part of your life, those are generally a given. So Claire's been with me through the ups and downs. We've had some proper journeys, haven't we, Claire, over the years?
Yep.
But she's a huge asset, and she's like my right arm at times, sort of stronger than my left. So it's lovely to have Claire on this journey with me, because it's not just about me running. I actually do the easy part on the challenge, really. I know it sounds crazy with the amount of running I have to do, but it's the behind the scenes work which Claire is instrumental with the rest of the team. And I think it's a whole team effort, and I think that's what I really want to kind of get across. So the next question is I always talk on this vlog is that my topic has always been around entrepreneurship and running. Now Claire is very entrepreneurship, so you tell us a bit about you, Claire, especially your kind of new venture, which I'm super impressed with, by the way. So I'll let you tell people kind of what you do in work and outside of work.
Yeah, so in work kind of work in the property side of the business as well as now the Runpreneur Challenge, so kind of all of the businesses almost. More operations based, but just really just making sure everything runs as it should do, which is sometimes easier than others. A bit of a challenge. Outside of work, well, I don't know, Kevin, what are you referring to? I've got a couple of things going on really.
Well, no, tell us about them all, because this is what I'm really interested in, so go on.
Yeah, so I was back, well, when lockdown hit, I turned 40, turned a big 40, and my husband bought me a little set of portable decks, if you like, because something I've always wanted to do is to mix music. And very, very quickly, I kind of upgraded my system and just got out there, started teaching myself how to mix, and got onto the kind of hard house and hard trance scene, and have become a DJ basically. And this last year's been an absolute whirlwind, and it's been incredible really. And I've just been booked for one of the if we go this way, just been booked for one of the biggest hard dance events in the country, which is going to be in August. So it's all just gone absolutely crazy since lockdown really, and it's been what's kept me sane, I guess, my mental health and stuff, through just general stresses of life, so work and lockdown stresses which we've all had, and that's just kept me from going completely bonkers, quite frankly.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think Claire will mind me talking about some of this stuff, because you've been quite open and honest on social media, which I think is really brave of some of the challenges we all face. And I think what I take from this is that I know Claire's backstory very, very well. We've known each other a long, long time, and I've seen her through the highs and lows. And what I've noticed in particular is when she's found something she's so passionate about. I mean, if you don't know what passion is, just watch Claire dance during one of her sets. That is a passion personified. But it's just the difference in a happy Claire and an unhappy Claire, and that's not just Claire, that's anyone. The difference between somebody who's happy and who's got positive energy, and the difference between someone who's got negative energy is just poles apart. And I've noticed a very, I think Claire was coming through a very challenging time in her life, and as soon as she kind of found music and DJing again, just the change was just so dramatic. And I thought we've really got to talk about this, because I think there's a lot of people out there that will be able to resonate with this. I mean, we're just coming out of, well, we've still got a long way to go yet, but this is the first day today really, second day where you're allowed to go and eat and drink in restaurants and pubs and things. So it's kind of a big milestone, but I still think there's a long way to go. But the impact on people's mental health that this lockdown has had has been staggering, and not necessarily in a positive way, to say the least. And I think seeing what Claire's been through and the journey she's done when she's found something she's super passionate about has made, it's really inspiring. And what I take from it is that everybody has a purpose and a passion. I mean, I think we know mine is this running vlog. It's like counselling, it's like therapy to me, and the amount of positivity I get from it is huge, and I think Claire gets the same from her DJing. So what would you say to people, Claire, because I've seen you at extreme low points, and how you can be strong enough and brave enough to come back from that is remarkable. So what would you say to people who are kind of going through those types of emotions?
It's a tricky question, because everybody's different, and there's been points in my life where I actually didn't consider I'd be able to get back from there. There are many points like that, ups and downs really. I don't know, it's just always keeping that belief. But how do you do that? I use meditation, but again, when I'm at my really low points, I even struggle to do that. It's anything that's asked of me, whether I'm asking myself it or whether somebody else is asking me to do something I'm not very good at. So it's just a tough one, but it's just to always try and keep that belief that nothing is permanent, that however difficult that is, whether it's a week, a day or whatever, it will get better. And with that belief then just becomes, things will just start getting better naturally, they do. But to always try and find something And again, that could be easier said than done. You know, trying to find something that you enjoy. I mean, I know people, you know, one of my best friends, she struggles with, I want something that I can really get into, and that's not always easy to find something, but just keep at it, just keep trying to find something. Just ask yourself, what do I like? And it can be basic, like really, really basic. You know, mine could have been, well, I like music. I used to like going out raving 10 years ago. Well, 10 years ago? God, longer than that actually. 20 years ago. And just start asking yourself what you like. What do you enjoy doing? And just start breaking it down and seeing what you can do. But believing that you can do things as well is an absolute must, because we can do so much stuff. And we get in our own way. We get in our own way, you know, with our self-judgments. You know, I'm not good enough. No, I could never do that. I mean, how often do people say that? I couldn't do that. You know, even if it's just going up for run, I couldn't run. I've never run. You know, I couldn't do that. And it's rubbish. You can do whatever, but you've just got to put your mind to it, and you've got to believe that you can. Is the most important thing. It's just having self-belief, really, in your own self.
I think that's a really important point you mentioned there, is about, you know, belief that you can do it. And I think so many of us struggle with confidence-related issues, and something that always super impressed me was even through your darkest points, you were able to be quite public with your feelings and your emotions. And I think that was possibly maybe it was a support network that you had, because you had a lot of support on social media in particular. And I think it was raising awareness of stuff, and people were resonating with it, because I think the reality is every single person out there has problems, and it's all very relevant to their own individual circumstances, and they get caught up in their own bubble. And sometimes it takes being open enough to share your views to make people realise like how you overcome stuff like this, which puts other people's problems into perspective. And I'm not saying that everybody's problem is a problem that needs to be solved, but sometimes seeing how other people do it gives you the catalyst to do it yourself.
Yeah, it just makes you feel like you're not alone as well. I think it's why I did it. So when I got Bell's palsy, wasn't it, back in October 2019, I basically woke up and I'd lost the use of half my face, the left side of my face, and I was extremely unwell with it though, mentally and physically. I was very, very, very poorly. And within one day, I think I was in such a state, but I decided to go and do a video on Facebook. And I think I was just trying to get out there, because I just learnt a few lessons with that, really. I'd been really worried for a long time about how I was ageing. It was really hitting me hard. And it was almost like, I like to look at it as if it was like a lesson from the universe. I don't want to go too deep here, because I can talk all day on this. But it was, you know, why is this happening to me? Because we ask ourselves that all the time when we're going through, you know, traumatic experiences or whatever. Why is this happening to me? But I like to say, why is this happening for me? Why is this happening for me? Because it kind of changes your mindset and makes you look at things a little bit different. And so when that happened to my face, I thought, you know, maybe it was just a real poignant time, because I had been so struggling with my face. And then that happened. It was like, you know, this has happened for a reason. I'm not crying, by the way. The wind's getting in my eyes. Yeah, so I just think it was really important. I was raising awareness for just saying to people, you know, just to try and be grateful for the little things. You know, these things don't matter. I mean, I still struggle with that massively. But at the time, that's why I went on Facebook, just to try and kind of raise awareness for that, really. You know, I explained how meditation and just sitting with these feelings really helped me get through it. So yeah.
Well, that's so if I was, so let's look at it, because I always talk about the importance of a release mechanism. I mean, there's a couple of things you've talked about today. You know, obviously that your love for music being a big part of it. I think you mentioned meditation. I'm not sure if you mentioned yoga. Did you mention yoga?
No, I used to do yoga.
Okay, so there's a couple of things there. You've also mentioned kind of talking through social channels, which is also very much so a release mechanism. Do you have a process on a kind of a daily or weekly basis, a routine to kind of understand? Because I talk about we experience daily pressures every single day, every single one of us, in the form of stress. Okay, and if you don't manage those stresses and kind of clear ahead, process what's going on, you know, gain clarity and refocus to be able to move on, having that release mechanism, those emotions are going to evolve into overwhelm, where you have too many things going on and you freeze, you procrastinate, and then you start panicking, and that's where you drift into the realms of anxiety and flirting with the edges of mental health. So the release mechanism is so important. Yeah. So what's your process for kind of dealing? Do you have a routine? What works really, really well for you? What have you tried that perhaps doesn't work? So
I've tried anything and everything because it's something I massively struggle with, as you know. Many times I've come to you, you know, because I hit overwhelm quite regularly, actually, you know, more than I'd care to admit, but it is what it is. And I hit it regularly, and I've even hit burnout. So when I'm extremely physically unwell with burnout, mentally and physically. So I try, and I've tried lots of different things to set routines, as I'm sure we all do, you know, healthy habits and stuff. We might need to turn around here, Kevin.
Yeah, okay.
Go back.
Carry on talking.
Yeah, I'm trying to actually turn my mic without falling off.
Just for the record, Claire often tells me how good she is at multitasking, so that puts it to the test there.
I haven't ridden a bike for like 20 years. Yeah, so I've tried lots of different routines, but at the moment what I find works for me is just I want to create energy. So whereas you go for a run, I'm not running at the moment, I haven't done for a while. So, but it's the same thing, it's to create energy. So I actually got a lot of this, I mean it sounds like common sense, but I got a lot of this from Tony Robbins actually. But where you can just, with or without music, but just jump around like an absolute lunatic. So, anyway, my current routine, if I can get out for a morning walk, I do. So I try and I haven't done that for a little while, but I'm trying to get out for a morning walk before the kids are up. And that just does me the absolute world of good. And it's hard for me to get out. I'm a bit of a home person that just, I don't often like leaving the house. So that's a tough one, but it really, really works. And come back and then try to do a 15-minute meditation where I just sit and just be a witness to what's going on in my own thoughts. Again, it's just a really healthy habit to have. Yeah, I have my morning celery juice at the moment, but I won't go too far into that.
Just opposite what I was just there. So that was a big vehicle down a narrow road.
Whoa! But also the main one as well. So after that point, I really try and fit in, which I'm quite religious about at the moment. Is fitting in a morning mix. So basically it's music, you know, and you don't have to be mixing to do this, you can just put it on and it's healing, you know, the vibrations, the frequencies, it's all healing. So music for me is a biggie. I think it just needs to be, when I realised what it was doing for mental health, I thought, you know, I've had years where I haven't really listened to enough music. Why not? Why have I not been doing this, you know, because it was such a big part of my life when I was growing up. And I had the best natural euphoric experiences, you know, in clubs from that. So yeah, that's my morning routine at the moment, just making sure that I get a morning mix in, dance around like a lunatic, just generate some energy for the day, and it works. It massively works. It leaves me in such a better mood to start work, and then I have to come and work for you see.
Well, you can't have everything, but I think, thanks for that, Claire. I think that's really useful, and I think what I've taken from this is that, you know, you don't just have to have one release mechanism. I mean, I use my running, but it's not just running, it's talking as well. And so I've got a couple that I kind of use that work really well for me. And Claire's used walking, meditation, you know, dietary, nutrition as well, I think has a big part to play. And also music, and, you know, mixing them up, having them in the routine that allows her to feel much better in a better place. And, you know, back to kind of work, I think what we've focused on recently is doing these kind of happiness sessions, and we had the first one recently, and I think we all kind of, you know, too many people fall into the trap of living to work rather than working to live. And, you know, I've kind of got this culture in the business that I'm trying to build where it's about what do people want, what do people, you know, how can we help serve the people to meet their ambitions and goals and just reach happiness, because for me, success is determined by a level of happiness, not by wealth or material possessions. And I think that's a lot of things that people often take for granted, is the value of time to do what you want to do, and to, you know, sometimes it's the simple things in life that can mean a lot more than the materialistic ones. So thanks ever so much for today's open and honest discussion, Claire. I think you've really opened my eyes as well, and also you've also hopefully resonate with so many other people out there during these tough times. And we're going to talk more about these topics in detail because it's something that I'm truly passionate about, because I've been myself at the stage of, I wouldn't say I ever reached mental breakdown, but I certainly had anxiety issues at times, and I've never experienced that before, and I didn't know how to deal with it back then, and I almost fell upon this running vlog process, which, you know, like I say, on regular occasions, it's like talking therapy for me, and you sometimes forget that people watch it, but that's often a good thing. So thanks for that, Claire, and as always, if you've got any questions for any of my guests or anything, just drop me a comment. I'll make sure they're all responded to, and if they're bigger topics, I might be able to coerce them into another vlog episode at some point.
I want a mindfulness for you, Kevin.
Definitely. Definitely, we'll get that.
Really good topic.
Because I'm an absolute novice in that side of things, but the power of the mind is a truly remarkable thing. And I'd love to do that, Claire. So we'll get that booked in 100%. And any other topics that are bigger from the questionings we get, we'll do separate vlog episodes as well. So all that's left to say is do please check the links in my bios. We're about to launch the Runpreneur Challenge officially, whereby the website will be live. You'll be able to donate, follow the challenge, how we're getting on, access all of the content that we talk, where you want to listen, watch or read it. It's in all sorts of different formats for you, and it should be easy to navigate. So all that's left to say is that my content, very, very like today's, has always been about helping people overcome the emotions of stress, overwhelm and anxiety by using exercise, or in my case, run vlogging, as a release mechanism to relieve these daily pressures that we all experience. And we've talked a lot about those in today's episode. So what I would say is that if you are struggling with this stuff, you're not alone, and help is often available. You just have to be prepared to ask for it. So my olive branch to you is that if you are struggling with this, drop me a message, okay? There's no, Runpreneur vlog is not for profit, so there's no sale, no catch. We'll jump on a call, we'll have a quick step-by-step discussion on how we can get you back on the right path by introducing some processes into your life and routines into your life that can make all the difference. So help is there. It's often easier asking for strangers than it is nearest and dearest. So if that is something that you need, please reach out and ask. And that's it for me today, and I'll leave you as always. I'm going to get Claire to say it as well. So I always leave you with stay positive, stay happy. I've got Claire to say it. Woohoo! And see you tomorrow.